What's up, this is DTC. You're listening to Potato Salad Radio. Check them out every Saturday. Call so I play. I appreciate hearing from you.
So for people who don't know what the Halifax Examiner is, it was founded by Tim Bousquet. He's an investigative journalist. He was working for the Coast, and then he left and founded really like an investigative outlet, but really online media, I guess. And then the way I got involved is I actually was guesting when he was on vacation, so we just had people guest doing the morning files, and I don't know, I like doing it, so he gave me Saturday. So he doesn't tell me what to do. Like, there's no sort of this is what gets you traffic, or you can't say this. Like, it's just I can do whatever I want. So if I want to, like, sometimes it's super sarcastic or it's satiric. Sometimes I'm writing like articles about like dentistry care in prison. So it's really up to me, whatever I want to do. So he just lets me run wild, I guess.
What's it been like commenting on? I mean, maybe this is wrong, but coming from being, you know, the city's poet laureate and commenting, I guess, sort of on the city, obviously, to that publication isn't just the city, but it's mostly the same. It's sort of the same demographic. But what's it like with those two different platforms in a relatively short period of time? Like, are you able to actually say more what you want to say?
Oh, I never didn't say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
To the credit of the city.
Were they?
No, they never stopped me from saying whatever. I mean, they just embraced it, I guess, maybe because they didn't have a choice. I think they, at the very least, strategically figured out that the worst thing you can do is try and stop somebody, or maybe they genuinely supportive. I don't know. But they absolutely never told me I couldn't or could do something. I mean, I have a sense of, like, I'm not going to go to the launch of the ferry and just, like, you know, start talking about, I don't know, like, like if it's irrelevant. Like, I you know, this stuff, if you're going to volunteers, you go and you honor volunteers. Like, I think that's really important for people to, you know, be there and honor people in the way they're supposed to be honored. But no, they never told me, like, oh, you can't say this about the city, or we don't want you talking about racism, or you can't talk about prisons or something. They just let me do it. So,
did you ever find yourself, like, sort of holding back in a sense?
No.
The reason I say that is, having grown up here, I feel like there's a lot of sensitive people who shouldn't necessarily be sensitive, in my opinion, but they get very shook very easily.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder what it was like if I had that same, like, platform, what I would do. I think I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not as courageous as you at all. Did you ever find yourself thinking, like, I have to be strategic in the way I deliver this missile because, like, they'll just bristle too soon and not get what I'm saying at all? Or is that,
no, because
if you're not listening, who cares?
I don't really think that anything I'm saying, I think if you believe in what you're saying is right, it actually doesn't usually occur to me that people are going to be bothered by it, you know, like, you know, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, like, I get that there's people out there that say aren't, like, super into hearing about, like, prisons 24/7 or something, or, you know, racism, but at the same time, like, it's not controversial or shocking to me because it's reality. So, you know, even stuff that I think is soft, you know, like, to some people, I guess, if they live in a bubble, they maybe aren't aware of anything, so anything you're saying is challenging, but, I mean,
I guess, you know, I think these are my realities,
so I guess, but I mean, like, I'm not writing something and going, ooh, people are going to be really bothered that I'm talking about, like, the right of people to be treated like human beings, like, ooh, you know, like, this is going to be, like, controversial. Like, to me, that's a common sense thing. Like, we should care about homeless people. We should care about people that don't have housing. We should care about the fact that people are living with addictions in our city with no treatment. So then I talk about that, and I don't know if people are going to be bothered by that. You know, maybe they are, you know, but like I'm saying, it's not like I'm standing up there and I'm, like, writing a poem that says Halifax sucks and we should burn it down, where you'd be like, you know, I'm doing something offensive. Like, I don't think that talking about, you know, the right of everybody in this city to, like, have a living or humanity is something controversial. So, no, I don't actually think, I mean, I never think of it that way. I just say what I feel like I want to say, I have to say, and I don't really, to a certain extent, you don't know how people are reacting, because that's one thing people do in Nova Scotia is to your face, they'll tell you you're brilliant and you're wonderful, and it's just behind your back where they won't hire you, or they're trying to kick you off a panel, or they've got together and talked about you. So I think there's a lot of that, you know, to my face, people embrace me and say, oh, you know, isn't that wonderful? But then when I go for a job, it's somehow I'm just, like, not getting the job, you know. So I think there is a lot of that, but it's this very passive aggressive, like, behind the scenes way of sort of silencing people and pushing them out, but they don't usually say it to your face.